Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pasture Farm. We're doing a cattle drive. The cattle are doing all the work. We just built a lane. The boys are behind them. And can you see them all the way up through there? They're along that woods, about a half-mile line of them. I stayed behind. I've got the four-wheeler. I didn't lead him this morning. I just got out of the way. Anyway, I was going to show y'all something. So we're moving them about 3/4 of a mile this morning. And we came in here. This is September 14th. There's a really heavy fly load right now. It's been hot, it's been dry. Then we got some rain, and boy did we need it. But anyway, this is the time of year it seems like when the flies just kind of build up. You can't outrun them, but what we did is we left. I was going to show you some of these virgin manure piles around here. There was one right there. That actually had a foot go through it. You can see them, the flies. Oh, here's a good one. Look at this one. Get closer without spooking the flies. Yeah, so they're all over these manure paths. But see, we're moving. Well, they're buzzing my face too. Sounds like I'm in a fly jungle right here. There's another one. Anyway, the flies are on those manure paths. They're laying eggs. Well, we're gone. So the cows aren't going to be here. And so by moving longer distances between your moves, especially in the fall, they certainly leaves, a pretty good population of your flies behind you. You get up here by this water tank. Of course, all these manure paths just be smothered by foot. You're not going to find any virgin manure paths that haven't had these all have been smashed. Flies like to get a virgin manure pile, a big thick one. So when they lay their eggs in there, they're young. Of course, that becomes a maggot. And then the maggot turns into a fly. That'll draw the blood out of your cows. There's no flies on these. Isn't that something? Flies aren't dumb. They know if they're going to spend their time to lay an egg, they want a nice, juicy, thick one. Hey, you don't want to open your mouth very wide around here. You'll end up with a fly in it. This is pressurized water, and these are the sidewalls. That's the Job Megaflow, and then it's plugged in over there with a quick coupler down that temporary fence line. But I'm the anchor today, so I'm gonna go get the four-wheeler, and I'm gonna catch the minnow feeder up, so I'll be dragging it, bringing up the rear. It's back over yonder. But yeah, so we're getting ready to come off the north place of the Judy farm, and we'll go across on the south side of the road where our house is. We're gonna be there 2 or 3 days, and then it's cattle drive time. Down the road to our farm that's had around 60 days rest now. So what we're doing is, I'll show you when we get on this four-wheeler. I'm gonna have to set this thing down. You just turn the key on. Well, I was also going to give a plug. We had a Green Hills Farm project the other night, and there was a guy there. He lives out in Kansas, and he's got one of these. This is a Honda Rubicon, the best four-wheeler made in the world. And anyway, he bought a side-by-side, and he's got a 2018 that he's wanting to sell. And if you're interested, just fire me an email, and I'll put you in contact with that guy. It's pretty low mileage. It's pretty much hasn't been abused, and he doesn't need it anymore. Folks, these things are hard to find. This is the best four-wheeler made in the world. I mean, it is a dude. It'll pull anything you want to pull, you know, reasonably. It can pull more than its weight. This feeder up here with the mineral in it, the cafeteria style, it's gonna weigh over 1,000 pounds, and this four-wheeler only weighs 750. But it is four-wheel drive. It's a 500cc. It's just a beast of a machine, and he's got one just like it. You're lucky if you can even find one in stock. It's crazy what has happened to our inventories of everything. There's nothing. It's going to get worse. Yeah. It's going to get worse, I'm afraid. It's hard to find stuff. So, if you have a chance to find a good four-wheeler, you better latch onto it, because you may not get another opportunity to find one. And this has got the new sticker shock off of it too, so basically just find a good four-wheeler that's just well broke in and ready to serve you. I'll tell you something about these four-wheelers. You don't need to work on them. I don't work on this. All I do is change the oil. That's it. Well, I get a power sprayer maybe once a month and blast the manure and mud off the bottom of it. You know, that keeps all your linkages working good. But there's just no work. I'm not going to name the others that I've tried. You had to have two of them because you always had one in the shop. You didn't have two of them, you were done, because always something going wrong with them. This one, nothing ever happens. So I'm going to put my chain on. There we go. I'm hooked on there. And we put this mineral up here while we were doing the cattle move. Put it up in the basket. Okay, now when I get ready to pull this, I'm not going to pull it on the high side. That's D for drive. That's what I like about the Rubicon. There we are. Now I'm in low lock. I didn't have it four-wheel drive, just tooling around the Pasture, but here's my four-wheel drive. Got that pushed in, and I can also go that way, which drives all four tires. I'm not going to do that. I don't need that. Okay, here we go. Chain tight. Shoot. Darn thing didn't even struggle. See, it'll pull it fast too. I mean, I can go on to third gear. I'm doing 7 miles an hour. It's not even struggling. Here's some of our honey locusts. Those are the Hershey's that we planted this spring. We're really pleasantly surprised with these. We put a cage around them, and we put a whole bunch of, I'll just show you real quick. Check this out. So we put wood chips around that tree. Look at that. That thing was only about 4 inches tall when we got it. It's, I don't know, it's a 1.5 to 2 feet. I'm really tickled with them, and I love honey locusts. These are the thornless honey locusts. They put out a really nice pod for your livestock, and we're going to plant some more of those next year. We planted 50 this spring, and out of 50 trees so far, we did nothing but mulch them with wood chips. And I started out with hay. I put hay down, and then we just buried that hay with wood chips. And 49 out of 50 have survived so far. That's pretty good for not watering them, for nothing. And we planted them into a fescue sod, but we did mulch heavily to knock the sod out, where the tree's not competing for moisture. It's getting all of it through those wood chips. And the wood chips are fungal. And so a tree likes a more fungal environment. So the boys really put her on thick. They've got, I think, about 6 to 8 inches of wood chips around that tree. That's not going to allow fescue to grow in there for a long time. Shift one more gear. I'm up to 3rd gear now, and I'm doing 8 miles an hour. Now I'm up to 9. In the morning, when you have dew on, of course, the feeder pulls a little bit easier because you don't have so much resistance. But this is our lane. I'm just going to keep it filming until we get to the cow herd. You'll see how far we took them. It's a J. Temporary fencing. You can put a lane up, and when you're done, you just roll it up. You know, we came up through here, let's see, it'd be before the grazing school. So we were here, let's see, I'll count back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We were here about 7 to 8 days ago. I've already have got regrowth. Of course, it didn't hurt on Saturday night. This is Wednesday. Saturday night we got 1.25 inches of rain. So we're getting regrowth on what we already grazed, but we left it fairly tall. There's always going to be areas that the cattle leave a little bit taller than others. It's just because it's more tender. They'll take it a little shorter. If it's less tender, they won't. Now right here, I came in and actually clipped this behind the cows. We had a pretty good infestation of called common ragweed right here. And I just knocked it out. And by getting rid of all that overhead weeds, we'll get a lot better stockpile growth on that, because the stockpile is not competing with the ragweed for moisture and sunlight. So we've already got our bales up through here. We stair step them. There's another group right here. So anytime we graze this, of course, we put a wire around them. They're ready for winter. So when we come through here this winter, it's normally on our 2nd rotation through all of Judy Farms. See how we got them spaced? Those are up on logs. Folks, get them up on the logs. Keeps that bottom from rotting on you. Hay's not cheap this year. You sure don't want to waste 20-30% of your bale just because you didn't put it up off the ground. You got a barn, that's nice too, but I'm going to say this. I don't think you can afford to build a $300,000 to $400,000 barn to store hay. It just doesn't make economical sense. And then once you have that building, you're susceptible to tornadoes, hail, taxes. You have to pay taxes on that barn. And if you store them up on poles and net wrap your hay, been doing that for about 15 years now. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go back. Keep doing what we're doing. It just doesn't make sense to spend, $300,000 or more on a big old pole barn when you can take that same money and buy livestock with it that's going to give you a baby calf. That barn's not going to give you a baby calf. So just remember, keep your money invested in things that eat grass. Period. The boys are waiting on me. They've already got the back fence in. I tell you what, these young guys are on top of it, man. We've got David and Ike. Isaac is actually on his maiden voyage in Minnesota, doing his own speaking engagement there. And I know he's gonna knock it out of the park, because that's just the way Isaac is. Sharp young man. Yeah, if you want to go to that, folks, go to George Heller. Get a hold of George Heller at Burndale, Minnesota. Anyway, I'm here. I'll let you all go ahead and put some in it. I wanted to show you what we turned them into. Look at this. Think we got some grass? Folks, it hadn't rained for 3 weeks. And before that, we went from June until the end of July with no rain, and it was hot. But I did not clip this. I did that because they've already grazed that section over there. We grazed that on the way through. Now on the way back, I'm not gonna clip this. I've already taken my brush hog off. I'm done for the year. So next year I'll make sure I clip this because of those darn things right over there by that cow. Autumn olive. If you don't get that bush next year, it's already taller than the cow. I'll show you what I'm talking about right there. That bush will be 8 feet tall by next year. So, yeah. Autumn olives. Yeah, they aren't invasive. I'll be darned, look at that. There's a little bit of Johnson grass of all things. That's the first Johnson grass plant that I've seen in this paddock ever. It must have came from a bale that we unrolled in the wintertime. Look at that. There it is. I promise you that plant's in trouble. They're gonna nail that. Boy, there's a beautiful bull calf. Oof. Man, she's doing a good job. That's the first calf heifer. She has really got a nice calf, nice bull calf. Thick, compact, shiny as a mirror. That's the way you like them. Got some more of the Indian grass coming up in this paddock. Look at the diversity in here. That's the one thing I don't like about, people say you need to spray your farm and get rid of all the weeds. Well, when you do that, what you end up with is a 100% monoculture of this Kentucky 31 fescue. Then you have issues. Folks, if I sprayed this to get rid of these weeds, what do you think's gonna happen to all that clover? I mean, look at that. There's clover coming up in the middle of the fescue. And people say, oh, you can't do that. Fescue will crowd out everything. No, it will not. Not that calf is screaming for mama. Here comes mommy. Son, where you at? But look at this. So when they get a bite, they're gonna get a bite of clover too. So don't go out spraying your farm and going bankrupt. Follow the money trail. Who's telling you to spray? Where's your money going? Hint. It's not staying in your pocket. At the end of the year, you don't have any weeds, but you also don't have any money. And you've got a monoculture of fescue, and now you got issues. Because cattle on 100% fescue do not do well. They need some diversity in there. And they're eating Kentucky 31 right there, folks. Does that cow look like she's hurting? Absolutely not. So keep your money in your pocket. Don't do what the professionals tell you to do. And this one's leaning a little bit. I'm gonna re-stick this post right here. Keep your money. Don't send it all to town, keep it. It's your money. You've worked hard for it. Don't give it away to everybody. Oh, look at the happy minds on that cow. Whew. That's Kentucky 31 fescue and clover, folks. Here's another one. Look at this one. She look like she's hurting. Oh, you gotta kill that fescue. No, you don't. Just make money with it. In 36, you are a beautiful animal. She's got a calf sucking on her too. Yeah, there's some weeds in here. But you know what? There's gonna be weeds in here 100 years from now. And I'm not gonna go broke trying to spray these things. If they really get tall and are competing, I'll clip it, but I'm not gonna come here and spray it. And the advantage of clipping is you keep the honey locust trees, the thorned ones, at bay. When I clipped this little piece right here, there must have been, I don't know, 10 or 15 of them in there. I knocked them back. So next year they'll come back vegetative, and it's food. It's food for the deer, food for the cows. And this is the north place on Judy Farm. We don't run sheep in here yet. Something we're looking at doing in the future though. Here's a honey locust. So see, this one didn't get clipped this year. They've ate it. They're eating the tips of it. You see right here where they ate the tips off of it. So if you leave that one go for 3 years, you know, it gets 12 feet high, well, then you got a tree you got to deal with. I'm leaving them on some farms so I don't have any shade. They make a good shade tree. You just got to deal and be able to turn your head and not look at the thorns. Don't let it bother you. And on a 100-degree day, when your cows are smiling at you, as they're all shaded underneath a honey locust tree, you're gonna thank yourself you didn't cut them all. That's what I found out over at Doc's. We don't have a lot of shade on that farm in some of those bigger paddocks. We do now. I'll let the honey locust grow. So with that, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off of here. I've got to get a bull in this morning to get semen tested, and he's gonna have a new home in Oklahoma. We are gonna have 2 really nice bulls. Those are gonna be coming up for sale in about 3 weeks. They are pure blood South Pole. And I think I've got 2 left on our website that are 3/4 cross South Poles from my friends up north. All fescue, no grain. Beautiful animals. They make a great bull for anybody needing something to breed back their fall calving herd into November for, you know, next year having a fall calving. They're just nice, thick 3-year-old bulls. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Everyone have a good one and enjoy your day. And remember, every day is a gift. Don't take it for granted, okay? Enjoy it. Have a good one, folks. Oh, hit that subscribe button on the way out if you would. Thank you all.